Hey man, Bulls are playing some pretty good basketball right now. I wouldn't call it elite level good, but they've been playing well and doing a lot of things that we were concerned about at the beginning of the season, like closing out games in the fourth quarter, especially against superstars in this league, not playing with enough tenacity and fight to overcome close game situations. This was one of the Bulls' better wins on the season. I know the Wolves have been struggling as of late. They came into tonight on a 3-game losing streak, but from a matchup perspective, this team is your classic nightmare for the Bulls. Great offensive rebounding team, suffocating interior defense, can light you up from three at any point if you're not careful. And then of course, just not having an answer for a guy like Anthony Edwards, who coming into tonight had over 90 points in his last 2 games. It looked like he was going to be on that trajectory, by the way, with the way he started off the game in the first quarter, and the Bulls starting off very cold from behind the arc. But the Bulls shut him down in the second half. Edwards only had 6 points in the second half and just 2 points in the fourth quarter. He finished the game going 9 for 25, 1 for 8 from 3. The Bulls were hounding Anthony Edwards, double teaming him and taking away his attack game, his ability to drive where he's most effective, forced him to settle for contested outside shots that would just clank off the rim. I've been pretty impressed with the Bulls defense the last few games. Like, it's not still where you want it to be, and my goodness, Vucevic's lack of care for making any kind of deterrence at the rim drives me insane. But overall, the Bulls defense has looked more succinct. They're challenging shots more, they've been better at switches, closing out off of shots, and they're fighting for loose balls. What also was surprising to me in this game was the fact that the Bulls, after starting out the fourth quarter well, went on that really cold drought where they didn't score a point for nearly 5 minutes, let the Wolves go on a 13-0 run to go up by as many as 6 points, I believe it was. They were losing plays in transition by not getting back quick enough. On offense, they were taking bad shots, one-and-done possessions, and you thought, okay, it's going to be one of those games where the Bulls played hard, they played well, a valiant effort against a better team, but they just didn't have enough in the fourth quarter to be able to finish off the game. I fully expected that to be the case, and it's because we've seen instances of that this season with this team, especially when, again, going up against a superstar talent, which everyone then likes to point out after the Bulls lose such games. See, this is why you need that guy who's going to take over games in the fourth quarter. And well, I don't disagree with that statement. It was the opposite in this game, because Edwards couldn't do a thing, and the Bulls, as a team, which of course, major contributions by none other than Trey Jones, but as a team, found a way to get stops, push the pace in transition before the Wolves defense could get set, and hit some big shots in the final 3 minutes of the game, and ultimately win, of course. What was interesting about this game, something that hasn't been that common for the Bulls, was their free throw rate. Getting to the free throw line 33 times compared to the Wolves 15, a team that gets to the free throw line often, by the way. The Bulls were attacking inside, creating contact, like they didn't score that many points in the paint, only 40 in this game, but it's because they were aggressive in getting downhill, getting the Timberwolves in foul trouble, and getting them into the bonus, and accumulated their points that way. Because the Bulls didn't get up as many shots as the Wolves did in this game. They had more possessions than the Bulls overall, more offensive rebounds, more second chance opportunities, and the Bulls didn't even shoot that well as the Wolves did anyway. 44% from the field compared to the Wolves, 46. 27 free throws for the Bulls compared to the Wolves, 14. And no, the refs did not help them out. The Bulls were aggressive on offense against a top 10 defensive team in the NBA. The Bulls still have been relying a little too much on the three-point shot, though, from my perspective anyway. Like, you caught at the beginning of the game, you thought it was going to be a long night because they were cold from deep, and it was a big reason why they fell behind early in the game. They finally started knocking down their shots going into the second quarter and ultimately hit 17 of them in this one, 17 for 39. But yeah, even that cold stretch in the fourth quarter, Bulls were just jacking up threes, hoping they could end the Timberwolves' run. That's not the way to go, especially when you're doing it out of rhythm and off balance. Anyway, good to see Josh Giddey back. He came off the bench and was on a minutes restriction of 24 minutes, even though he played 26. And Giddey did not miss a beat. He came in after the Bulls started off slow, was attacking the basket right away, finishing with that finger roll on drives, getting to the line. He quickly scored 18 points in just the first half to bring the Bulls back into the game, and would end up finishing with 21 points on 7 for 13 shooting, was 7 for 9 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and just 2 turnovers. I thought, Josh would be a bit rusty after missing 11 games with that calf strain. Would take him some time to get back into the flow of the offense, but not at all. He looked like he didn't even even missed time and was right back into the swing of things. I mentioned Tre Jones just coming up with big plays, hustle plays at the end of the game, drives to the basket, getting a bucket when the Bulls needed it most. Patrick Williams even had a decent game, some strong boards, solid defense, didn't play a lot, but when he was out there, he was actually contributing, which is more than what I feel we can usually say about Pat. Bulls went with the double big lineup tonight to start the game, which makes sense going up against the size of the Wolves. And Jalen Smith was great tonight, coming through in the clutch, hitting a big three, deterring at the basket on Anthony Edwards, 17 points on 6 for 9 shooting, 3 for 4 from 3. Modest was okay in this one. Billy opted to not have him close out this game, which probably made sense given Tre Jones and Giddey were the guys you want out there in those moments. I personally think it's still valuable to give your young player those experiences and opportunities to close out games, even if they're not having the best game, but I get it. Billy's focused on winning games, not charity minutes, but man, did you guys see that switching hands midair dunk by Modest over Rudy Gobert? That was even better than the switching hands midair layup he had earlier in the season, using that athleticism and hang time to flush down the dunk. I always think on drives like that, he takes off too early and he's gonna not be able to make contact with the rim, but I'm always reminded that this kid can fly. So yeah, that dunk alone made me kind of forget that it was an okay performance from Modest Bucelis tonight. Vucevic, yeah, he struggled against Gobert. Gobert just isn't a good matchup for him. He tried posting up against him a few times and it did not end well. Can't box out Gobert very well, and so Vucevic had to settle for outside shots. Just 10 points for Vuce on 3 for 10 shooting, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. Coby White, this was kind of his audition game, if you will, right? He's been in a lot of those trade rumors linked to the Timberwolves, which I think makes sense considering the Wolves need a supporting backcourt player for Anthony Edwards, and Coby White did not show up very well. He wasn't terrible, he still put up 22 points, but a good portion of that came at the free throw line. He took some questionable shots to say the least, especially in the fourth quarter, went 3 for 10 from 3, 6 for 16 overall, and he also had 4 turnovers. I still appreciate Kobe's effort, and you could tell he was frustrated with himself by the way he was playing. Like, at least he cares when he knows he needs to be better. And he did have a big 3 to bring the Bulls within 1 with less than 2 minutes to go in the game. It wasn't a bad game, maybe I'm being a little too harsh. I just didn't think he really sold himself well to the Wolves to up that trade value, but who the hell knows? I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they just keep this whole roster because of the way they've been playing. It would be a mistake because they do still need to make moves if they really want to get better, but it would be the AK thing to do. And look at that, the Bulls are back at 500. Wasn't sure if that was going to happen for the rest of the season, especially with the schedule they had coming up. And don't look now, but the Bulls are only 2.5 games out of the 6th seed. The East is wide open. We'll see what happens. Trade deadline is 2 weeks away from today. Let me know what you guys thought of the game. Let me know in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.